Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So behind me here I have a nice big pile of aluminum that I found while scrapping, and I wanted to take this opportunity to answer a few questions I had from a beginner scrapper. First question, looking at how to sort it. There are several different categories for aluminum as well as different prices, so I am going to go through those in this video. The second question he asked was, where are some common places I find my aluminum? And aluminum is found everywhere, so I'm going to go through a few places I like to find it. And lastly, want to give some tips and tricks how to help you separate the metal as well as upgrade your value. Unfortunately, I saw a gentleman a few days ago bring in a load of ladders and shovels and whatnots, and unfortunately, he did not take the time to separate the metals from the ladder. There is unfortunately going to be some rivets in there that are magnetic, as well as a shovel like this because of the wood on it. You are going to get downgraded tremendously. So I'm going to give a few tips and tricks how to clean this metal, show you how to sort it, some common places to find it, to not only help you maximize your profit, but divert as much of the metal and reclaim our natural resources away from that landfill. So I'm going to start, first of all, a few categories. First one, going to look at sheet aluminum. Sheet aluminum right now is going for 45 cents a pound in London, Ontario. And right here, common places I find it, I have 4 slow cooker inner tins. I do find slow cookers quite often. You do want to make sure you check. I have recently found a few that have the inner lining have been replaced with steel or tin shelled. So you do want to check that. Very easy to check. Aluminum is non-magnetic. So again, a few items that I have, just a piece of a lamp. I did check to see if this was stainless steel or not. And I do actually have a full breakdown video showing you how to separate and identify the difference between aluminum and stainless steel. Both of them can look very similar, and I will include the link to that video in my description. But a few pieces that I have, again, there are some types of ductwork that are also aluminum. Your dryer vents, those are aluminum as well. And I find a ton of those in the garbage on job sites. I do also have a few pieces just random that I have. This was actually off of a back of a control panel. This too is sheet aluminum. This is a piece that actually comes out of magnetrons. The magnetrons from microwaves do have several aluminum, and they're not heavy, but they do add up, but aluminum plates. That's all sheet aluminum. As well, I do find several different poles that come off of different electronics or tools. This actually came off of a weed eater. This here was from a pool. I have a couple that come off of either your Swiffer wet jets. A lot of people will pass those up, just take the cord and leave the rest. But in my opinion, hoses from vacuums and Swiffer wet jets, an excellent place to easily find aluminum because a lot of people have them, so it's easy to find. So that's the first one. I do also want to make sure I say, now more than ever, a lot of my clean aluminum actually comes off of circuit boards in the form of aluminum heat sinks. So here's a few that I have from a circuit board. Notice they're just clean, straight. There's no real grooves to it. There's no magnetic attraction. So some of them you do have to be careful. They could have the magnetic pins on there. You do have to pull them off. If not, then you are going to get downgraded. But aluminum heat sinks, you can have clean aluminum from it. You can also get, speaking of your circuit boards, another value, your highest value aluminum is classified as extrusion. Extrusion is any type of aluminum that looks like it's been put through a mold or a press. So here are 2 examples actually. This is again off of a circuit board. This is extrusion because you can see it does have nice fins through it. These are an excellent source. I actually have a 50-pound bag over to the side that I'm going to bring in. And currently right now, this is going for $1 a pound for clean extrusion. There is also painted extrusion. This is another one right off of a circuit board. And painted extrusion is actually 4 cents more. It's $1.05 a pound in London, Ontario. Not sure why. It's because of the paint. I did call and ask. They said it's supply and demand. So doesn't mean that there's different metals on here or different alloys or anything else that comprises of this. It just means it's higher demand. So higher demand, better price. So $1.04 for this. Make sure you separate it. But aluminum extrusion, comes many parts for me from circuit boards. There are other places as well. You will have, for example, screens. I have a screen right here. So your window frames, another one, your tracks that come, carpet connectors as well. But this also is extrusion. If I put a magnet to it, you can see that it does not stick. But I do want to take the opportunity to talk about screens. The inner part here, I once thought was aluminum. They actually will reject this at the scrapyard where I go to. It's like a nylon. So in order to get extrusion, the frame is extrusion. You do have to pull out the screen from it. You do also have to remove these little pins that come off of it. Again, your worst nightmare, if a scrap or a gentleman at the scrapyard puts a magnet to something and it sticks, you're going to get downgraded tremendously. So you got to make sure that you open it up, remove the tape. But this frame is extrusion. And this, again, going for $1 a pound, so extrusion. I have the shovels here. These shovels going back to clean aluminum, so this is just clean. I have cast aluminum. Cast aluminum, your traditional black barbecues are a great place to find it. I still find them time to time, as well as your pots and pans. Both of these, you can see, this does have non-magnetic. I do have to remove the handles. If I leave these handles on, I am going to get downgraded, especially with that screw in there. And cast aluminum right now is actually going for 85 cents a pound. I am amazed that it is still at such a high price. I just brought in, just a couple days after January, over 600 pounds of cast aluminum clean barbecues. So that was a great score and a great item to be able to unload. But cast aluminum, a lot of frying pans that I find, as well as your old barbecues. And there are other cast aluminum places you are going to find. Your gas burner tops, those things, your propane nozzles from barbecues, those two are cast aluminum. And I don't actually have in here pop cans. That is another form of aluminum. They are their separate category. They right now are going for 90 cents a pound in London, Ontario. So those are my 3 or 4 main ones: sheet, pop cans, cast aluminum, and extrusion. I do also want to mention there are other items. This is actually ceramic. This was actually out of an active fry. The inner lining where you put the food on it. This is actually aluminum, but it does have a thick coating on it. That's what makes it ceramic, with the ceramic coating. But underneath it is aluminum, and I get the same price as sheet, so about 45 cents a pound for this. I only have one of them here. I am bringing in a load of clean aluminum, so I'm just going to leave it off to the side. They may just throw it right on there, but if I had a bunch of this, it all depends on the people working at the scrapyard, if they're going to take it as a dirty load or mixed load. If in doubt, just have items that you're unsure of off to the side. It's easy for them to just put it on the scale with the right material that they're weighing. So this is, again, ceramic, but underneath it is aluminum. And you will find examples as well. These are a few little things that I found. These are aluminum radiators. There is a category for these. About $1.05, I think, a pound for these. So these do come out of little heating elements. They are aluminum. I don't get much for them because they do have the inner lining there of, looks like caulking or some type of sealant. But again, they still do have non-magnetic attraction. They are aluminum, but these will be a type of aluminum radiator. You do want to make sure you separate those from your copper radiators, copper aluminum radiators. Those right now going for $2.83 a pound. So a lot better than this, which is probably, as mentioned, gonna probably give me about 60 cents a pound for these, or 50 cents, depending on the day. But there are aluminum radiators as well out there. I don't find tons of these, but my most common items, as I said, clean aluminum from my circuit boards. Get those heat sinks. They do add up for sure. My poles, those are definitely an add-on. Pop cans, I find tons of them in the ditch. Even when I go on nature walks, like to clean out those ditches, pick up those pop cans, as well as the beer cans, but I am making more money taking the beer cans to the beer store than bringing them in as pop cans. But those are my 4 categories that I have. Getting to this, as mentioned, already looked at my screen. I do want to just make sure I bend it. There is a pole inside that I do have to remove. That is actually going to be zinc cast inside of there, so I do have to pull that. but this shell will be aluminum. As mentioned, this screen, it is a nylon. It's just gonna go into the garbage, okay? But a couple of things that I have here. This here is a nice baking tray. Notice, put a magnet to it. It is non-magnetic here. However, I do have to make sure I follow everywhere on my magnet because look at that. Right on the lip, there is a steel frame or casing that goes around. Just on the top, it's crimped in there. So if I was to bring this in because of that tin, I am gonna get downgraded. This is a piece of sheet aluminum, so this is gonna be 45 cents a pound. So I do have to cut that out. And what I do, rather than try to waste my wrists and my time cutting all that out or trying to uncrimp it, I will actually just take an angle grinder and just grind right down the side. So I am losing a little bit of this aluminum. I'm just gonna grind right down there. But at least the rest of this, once I open it, I can just actually peel it off. So I will get all of it. The tin inside of there will actually go for about 15 to 16 cents a pound right now. So tin is another great item that continues to stay high. But you do want to make sure that you follow it with a magnet. Sometimes I've seen even just little rivets or screws. One, magnetic attraction is cause for downgrade. So be careful of that. My shovels, again, these are very easy to upgrade. This one you can see, find a lot of them right now especially. It's becoming early spring. These have worn out from the friction on the driveway. Unrepairable. I could grind it, but I'm not gonna, to kind of save the blade. But again, non-magnetic here, but this is gonna have a few tin pieces. So I do have to just make sure I cut that rivet there. I just take a grinder, cut it in half, cut. So I'm gonna make sure I cut all of them. And the nice thing is this will just peel right off. As well, I will not remove the whole wooden shaft. I could actually try and save this wooden shaft if I really wanted to. And all I'd have to do there is actually just cut with a grinder that rivet and get this pole. So not have to buy another pole, that's great. I could put it onto a shovel or, something else that I have for my yard work. But again, make sure you get off that magnetic attraction. Ladders, another one. This ladder is actually, there's two types of metals on here. This is actually, the sides here are extrusion, but the rail here may be just classified as sheet. So easy way to upgrade. All I actually do here is just open it up, cut it there. It will fall out with these pieces because again, this giving me 45 cents a pound, this is giving me $1.01 a pound. I want to make sure I maximize my profit. But for the video here, I want to focus on this one. So a small little ladder you see, but there is right on my rivets. Look at that. These rivets are magnetic. So again, that gentleman putting a ladder like this in is going to get downgraded. So very easy again to do. Just taking my grinder. Going to do a few right now. Just going to cut that rivet right there to show you. Okay, I got my grinder set up right here. All right, so just gonna do this one. Okay, and of course I don't have my right tool, but there you go. That was all it was. I'm going to just get this one piece out. So that's one technique that people have that I could just cut the rest of that off. Another person actually suggested just taking my angle grinder and going right across the rivet. So I'm going to do that just to show you another tip. It all depends on the scrapper, but this is as well an easy way to do it. So I had to first of all try and get the angle on that, but there it goes, just popped out like that. You can see, there you go. And if I was actually working at a workbench, it would be easier because I'd be standing, not crumped over it. But make sure that you upgrade that. Get those rivets out, very easy with an angle grinder. But again, a lot of great sheet aluminum here. It is everywhere and anywhere, especially now in the spring. You are finding a lot of shovels. You are also finding a lot of ladders, I find, from pools. People are opening their pools, realizing that the ladders are destroyed, so they want to get them replaced. They have no use for the other ones, so they throw them out. But again, aluminum is anywhere and everywhere. Great source of value. Your sheet aluminum, 45 cents a pound. Cast aluminum, 85 cents a pound. Extrusion, $1.01 for clean extrusion, $1.05 for painted extrusion. Pop cans, 90 cents a pound. And again, anywhere and everywhere. So hopefully that answered some questions. Hopefully that helped you with a few tips and tricks to help you upgrade your value. For that gentleman that brought in his load, unfortunate for him, I hope that he at least got some advice from the people from the scrapyard. They are very knowledgeable, and they will tell you at times how to upgrade as well. So that is great if they do that, but unfortunate for that person, his load that day would have been downgraded for sure. So again, thank you for the question. Please keep them coming. I love working with this scrapping community, not only helping fellow scrappers identify material, but working together, giving some tips and tricks to also help maximize profit and divert as much of the material away from the landfill as possible. So thanks again. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.